If you love pockets, this is the perfect tote bag for you. Thank you, Barbara429. I wasn't sure what type of bag I was going to make with tons of pockets in the lining, but I came up with this style tote bag and I think it's really cute. So I made 2 slip pockets on the inside and just divided them into sections. So one side has 2 pockets and the other side has 3. And then the divider zipper pocket in the middle. It's made with all denim fabric on the outside and canvas fabric on the inside. Used a little bit of fusible fleece for the outside layers and a 12-inch zipper. Pretty nice size tote bag. Its final measurements is 14 by 14 by 4. And as you can see, I'm putting all sorts of stuff in here. I added a regular size iPad, eyeglasses, cases, wallets, pretty much everything that you would throw in your purse you can organize inside of this bag. So let's get right into how this bag was made because I'm so excited to show you how it all comes together. So I grabbed my denim fabric and I folded it with the right sides together. And then I just used my acrylic ruler, which is 18 inches long, and I just cut out a big square 18 by 18. And then I just stuck some pins in it just to hold the layers in place. And then after that, we're gonna work on making the shape of this bag. So I folded both layers in half with the raw edges to the right side of the bag. And I made a mark from the right edge at about 4 inches away. And then I made a mark 5 inches down from the right edge. And then I'm just gonna draw lines to connect those marks. And I use a French curve ruler, but if you have a bowl or anything round, you can just use that to create the curve on the bottom left corner of the square that you made on the fabric. And then you can just cut along those lines to cut that little piece out. I am gonna set those pieces on the side because I'm gonna use those as the little zipper tabs that I'm gonna use on the edge of the zipper for the inside of the bag. So I'm gonna use these extra pieces that we cut off. And then from the right side, I made a mark 1 inch from the right edge. And then I'm also gonna make a mark 1 inch from the left edge and just draw a line all the way from the mark to the bottom corner of each side of the bag. Then I'm just gonna cut along those lines and cut those pieces off. And that way I'm leaving the bottom of the bag just a little bit bigger than the top portion of the bag. We are gonna box the corners of the outer bag and the inner bag, but we're gonna use 2 different techniques to box the corners of each bag, and so that's why I wanted to leave the bottom portion of the bag just a little bit bigger since we are going to box the corners of it. And then I folded the bag in half with the raw edges to the left side and the fold on the right. And then I grabbed my curve ruler again and just made a curve. Drew a line, a curved line from the top left corner to the center of the bag, and that's gonna just give the bag a rounded top rim. And then I had some pretty floral canvas material, so I'm going to use that to cut out as the lining pieces. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces for the lining, but I'm going to use the denim outer bag as the pattern piece to cut out for the lining pieces. And then for the slip pockets and the zipper pockets, I'm going to use this teal canvas fabric that I have. So we're going to cut out the zipper divider pocket first. I'm going to cut 2 layers for the outer layers of the zipper pocket, 12 by 18. And then I'm also going to cut 2 layers for the lining of the pocket out of some black cotton fabric. And after cutting out the zipper pocket pieces, I just went ahead and used the outer bag to trim off the edges of the zipper pocket just so everything has the same shape. And now that I have my 2 pieces cut out for the zipper pocket, I'm going to use those pieces to cut out the black cotton fabric for the lining of the zipper pocket. And then after that, I cut out the 2 pieces for the slip pockets on each side of the inside of the bag. And because this is canvas fabric all on the inside, I didn't really use any backing for any of these pieces because it's pretty thick and I really didn't need to use it. And I didn't want to increase too many layers of the bag to have to sew together and have bulky seams. So I decided not to add any backing to the lining pieces and just add 2 pieces of fusible fleece to the outer layers. And then once again, I just placed the layers on top of the 2 slip pocket pieces just to give everything the same slanted shape. I'm going to sandwich the zipper in between both tabs. I'm going to place the zipper tabs right at the raw edge of the zipper. And then I'm just going to sew across them using about 1/4 inch seam allowance. trimmed a little bit off the sides of the little tabs just to keep them the same width as the zipper. And then I'm going to place the zipper right side up over the black lining piece for the inside of the zipper pocket. And then I'm going to place the teal canvas on the outside, face down, right over the zipper, and then clip everything in place. And then I'm just going to sew it with my zipper foot to attach all the layers together. And then I'm going to fold all the layers back, and then I'm going to top stitch right along the seam, right underneath the zipper tee. And then after that, I grabbed the other lining piece and placed the zipper right on top of it, right side facing up. And then I grabbed the other teal canvas for the outer layer face down, right over the zipper. And then I'm gonna clip it in place again, and then just sew it all with the zipper foot, attaching all the layers together. And then after that, I just flip that side together so that way the lining and the outer layers can be together. And then I'm just going to top stitch right along the zipper, again right underneath the zipper teeth, right along the seam. And now our zipper pocket is complete. We can put it aside because now we're going to start working on the slip pockets on the inside of the lining. So I grabbed one side of the lining pieces and one of the teal canvas pieces that we're going to use for the slip pockets. And I folded the top edge down by 1/4 inch and then folded it again by 1/2 inch. And then I'm just going to sew across this little folded edge twice. I'm going to sew one time right near the bottom fold, and then I'm going to sew it one more time right along the top edge of the pocket. I did both of the slip pockets the exact same way. So now I'm going to create 2 pockets on one side and 3 pockets on the other. So on this slip pocket, I just made a line straight down the center. And then on the other slip pocket, I'm going to make 2 lines the same width apart. And then I'm just going to sew down the drawn lines to create the pockets. And now I'm going to just sandwich the zipper pocket on the inside between both of the lining pieces. And then I'm going to clip along the sides and the bottom to hold all the layers in place. And then I'm going to sew from the left side all the way down, then across the bottom, and then up the right side. I'm not going to sew the curves on the left and right side. I'm just going to sew where the straight lines start on the left and right, and then along the bottom. And now our inside lining is complete. All our pockets are complete. So we can start constructing the outer bag. And I always cut off about a half of the seam just to reduce some of the bulkiness on the inside of the bag. Now we can set the inside lining bag aside and grab the 2 outer layers for the outer bag. So here's a good time to add whatever you want to put on the outside of your bag. If you have a bag tag, I'm going to add a patch to the outside of this. I have a cute little sewing machine patch that I want to use. So I'm going to put that on the outside, and then I also want to add my bag tag, but instead of putting it on the outside of the bag, I'm going to attach it on the right side seam of the bag. I cut 2 pieces of fusible fleece to go on the back sides of the outer layers. And then after ironing the fusible fleece on, I'm going to take both outside layers and place them right sides facing and pin them together. And then from here, I'm just going to sew along the bottom using about a 1/2 inch seam. Then to box the corners of the outer bag, I'm going to fold the bottom of the bag inward about 2 inches. And then I'm going to sew down the left and right sides using about 3/4 of an inch seam allowance. And then after that, I just trimmed off a little bit of the excess seam. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the outer bag inside out and then insert the lining. But before inserting the lining, we're going to go ahead and box the corners of the lining bag. So I pushed my hands through the inside of the lining bag on each corner and folded the seam to where it makes a point. And then I'm just going to draw a line 3 inches across the little pointed edge and sew across it to create the box corners. And then I'm just going to cut off the extra pieces off each end of the box corners. And now we're almost to the end. We just have to put the lining bag inside of the outer bag. And then I'm just going to clip the rim all the way around the edge of the top rim of the bag together. And then I just cut a long strip 3 inches by 45 inches. I just used the long edge of the folded piece of denim fabric and just made 2 straps. So I cut 2 pieces 3 by 45. And then what I'm going to do is just take one end and put it right at the side seam with the raw edges meeting up together. And I'm going to clip that strip right from the side seam all the way to the very top point of the left side of the bag. And then most of the strip is not going to be clipped to anything because that's going to create the strap. And then the other end of the strip, I'm just going to bring down to the other right side seam and just clip it all the way up to the right point of the right side of the bag. And then I'm going to sew from the left seam all the way up to the very top point of the left side of the bag, and then from the right seam all the way to the very top point of the right side of the bag. And then after that's sewn, using about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'm just going to use my iron and fold each edge of the strip towards the center and then fold it again to create the folded strap. And now I'm just going to sew from one side seam all the way around the strap, all the way to the other side of the bag, down to the other side seam. And then I did the other strap the same way. I just folded the very edge of the strip inward about 1/2 inch and then just placed it right on top of the very edge of the other end of the strip and just clipped it along from the side seam to the very top point of each side of the bag, and then brought the strip all the way around to the other side and clipped it in the same place, and then just folded the straps inward towards the center to create the strap on the other side. Make sure there's no raw seam showing on the sides of the bag. You just want to make sure one strip is folded inward about 1/2 inch that's underneath the other end of the strip, so that way when it's folded over the bag, there's no raw edges sticking out. And then I just attached the other strip on the other side of the bag the exact same way and created the strap in the same way we did the other side. Now here, instead of me stopping right along the top left and right corner of the bag and not sewing it, once I got to this portion of the strap, I'm just going to take my seam ripper and just take out a few stitches, so that way when I start to add the strip of fabric that's going to go and cover the raw edges of the top center of the bag, the fabric is going to be able to go all the way to the left and right corners. So I just took my seam ripper and just took out a few stitches, so that way I can make sure the fabric goes all the way to the edge. And I did the same thing to the other side. Like I said, I could have just stopped sewing and not sewed that part of the strap, but instead I did sew it. So I'm just going to take out a few stitches, and then that way I'll be able to make sure my fabric just goes all the way to the edge. And then once I sew the strip along the front center of the bag, then I'll be able to just cover the edges back up again with the strap that we already sewed along the sides of the bag. And then using about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, once that's sewed in place, I'm just going to use the fold over method and then fold that strip right over the raw edge and just use some clips to hold everything in place. And then I'm going to sew along the top edge right close to the bottom seam. And now that we took out a few stitches, we're able to go ahead and insert that top left corner and right corner right back into the strap. And now I'm just going to sew right across the part that I unstitched with my seam ripper. And I'm just going to secure the strap in place on both sides. And then I'm just going to take out a few stitches on the other side on each end of the strap, and then do the center of that side the exact same way as we did the other side, and just cover up the raw edges of the center of the other side of the bag. After sewing this center part, just don't forget to cover up the side strap over the edges of the center, just like we did the other side. We're almost done. This bag is so cute and is super stylish because of the denim. I do wear a lot of denim, so I'm so excited to wear this bag. And if you decide to make one with different types of fabric, I would love to see it. So let me know if you do make one. I hope you enjoy all the pockets and organization that this bag gives. If you would like another bag tutorial, watch the next video that's on screen, and I'll see you in that video. Bye.